All right, so what we got here is what seems like a tricky problem, but it's actually not too bad. You just got to be careful, little details. So this time it's asking for the solution in terms of x. So we got to solve for x this time instead of y. And we also need to come up with a particular value because saying what is x when y is pi. And our initial condition is y of 1 equals 0, which is really just, saying that when x is 1, our y is 0. So different ways you can state that. And so let's go ahead and get this solved. It's another separable. So we have this times dy over dx. So it's okay because there's a multiplication going on between these two. So I'm going to just multiply the dx to the other side to start this out. So what we'll have is cosine of y plus 2 dy equals 2x dx. And we're going to go ahead and integrate both sides now. So the antiderivative of cosine is going to be positive sine of y. Don't get that mixed up with derivatives. Plus 2y. So the antiderivative of 2 in respect to y is 2y. And then we'll have equals, this becomes x squared over 2, but we have the 2 in front, so that's just going to be x squared. And then a lot of questions on where to put c. You could put either on the left side or the right side. It should adjust for itself whenever you plug in the initial condition, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's go ahead and use our initial condition of 1, 0. So remember, x is 1, y is 0. So using our initial condition on this step right here, I'm going to go ahead and plug in the 0 for y. And the 1 for the x. So sine of 0, if you remember on the unit circle, is right here in this spot. The y value is 0, so that's 0 plus 0 equals 1 plus c. So c is going to equal negative 1. So from the beginning, so when we started, we were right here. We had sine of y plus 2y equals x squared. And we put plus c on the right side. So when we solve for c, it was on the right side. So that means this c is going to go, and it's going to get plugged in to that one there. So what you would ultimately have when you substitute it back in right here at the top, you would have sine of y plus 2y equals x squared minus 1. And so solve for x and you'll have a particular solution in terms of x. But let's go ahead, let's take a look at what if we put c instead. You do your antiderivative, and let's just say you wanted to put it on the left side. Let's see what happens. So we'd have sine of y plus 2y plus c equals x squared. So let's just say we're going to plug in our initial condition here. You'd have sine of 0 plus 2 times 0 plus c equals 1 squared. So then you'll get 0 plus c equals 1. So c equals 1. Now realize what we're going to do is we're going to take this, since we solved for it when c was on the left, it's going to get plugged in right there where c was on the left. So that would be sine of y plus 2y plus 1 equals x squared. So this really is just the same thing as this equation there. We have a minus 1 on this side. We could easily add it to the other side, and boom, we'll be right here. So it doesn't matter which side you put it on, just as long as when you solve for it, the value you get has to go back to that particular c, wherever it was at, wherever it was located in the start. So just make sure you're careful with that. Of course, we are solving for x. We're trying to get x by itself. So, this one would be a little bit easier. But I have a habit of putting my c on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and just go with this one. So we want to know what is x when y is pi. So let me just go ahead and get our particular solution for x. So I'll go ahead and add the one to the other side. So we'll have sine of y plus 2y equals, or plus 1. Just add that one to the other side. Equals x squared. Square root both sides, so I'll have plus or minus the square root of sine of y plus 2y plus 1 equals x. So this is what our x is. Now I'm going to go ahead and see what we get. So when y is pi, I'm going to go ahead and substitute that pi in for y. And then we're going to find out what x is. So right here on our y's, I'm going to put in a pi. So our answer will be the square root of sine of pi plus 2 times pi plus 1 equals x. And then, of course, our plus or minus in front. Sine of pi, so just remember sine of pi, that's right over here. The y value is 0. So this will be plus or minus square root of 0 plus 2 pi plus 1. So just square root of 2 pi plus 1 equals x. So now which one do we go with, plus or minus? Well, in this, it's not really obvious which one we go with, so you'll see right there in the answer it says plus or minus, so you're just going to go with that. Put the square root of 2 pi plus 1.